The federal government shutdown is now 3 weeks old, the third longest shutdown in history.
President Trump hosting Republicans at the White House, saying they will not negotiate with Democrats to end the shutdown. And the longer the shutdown lingers, the greater impact it has on you. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti spoke with public health officials who say this could now affect families putting food on the table.
Yeah, that's right, Fran. The federal government is now telling states to hold off on distributing food benefits for November, potentially affecting thousands of families. In Brunswick County alone, 7,200 households will be affected. And keep in mind, that's not 7,200 people. That's households and everyone inside them. Food and Nutrition Services, or FNS, is a federally funded program. Officials in Brunswick County say until the federal government resumes the program, the county will need to rely on community resources like the food bank for help.
Families rely on this benefit to put food on their table. This benefit's not something that, oh, well, it would be nice to receive food stamps.
The bottom line, officials say families who receive benefits need to tighten their budget as much as possible. It's not clear how long this shutdown will drag on, leaving a lot of families in a tight spot. Fran?
Ariana, is Brunswick County still accepting applications for the program?
Yeah, they are. Officials say they were instructed to continue accepting applications and can authorize benefits for only the month of October. That could stop on November 1st.
All right. Thanks so much.